But mostly she was working the street?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And your mom was stealing?
Yes.
And your mom was prostituting?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
I'm sorry to talk about these things. Your mom wasn't taking you to a psychiatrist, was she?
No.
She wasn't picking up any prescriptions that you might need?
No.
And your mom never helped you get a job, did she?
No.
You weren't living in a 4,500 square foot house on 2 acres with a pool, jacuzzi, and a basketball court, were you?
It was a dream, but no.
That would be a dream for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And you weren't having therapists coming to your house several times a week to try and help you?
I do remember seeing therapists quite often, numerous times.
Would you go to them or at the school?
I went to them.
Okay. You were not going to summer camps, were you?
Yes, I've been to summer camp.
Yeah, which one?
Red Berry's Baseball World.
Okay. And no rich couple paid your mother money to adopt you and give you unconditional love, did they?
Paid my mother, you mean?
To adopt you.
No. No.
In fact, that would have been a great thing if it happened to you, wouldn't it?
I would have thought that back then.
Well, you would have fought it if you were a kid, but not if you were a baby. You couldn't fight it, could you?
No, I said I would have thought that back then. What the question you just asked me?
Yes.
I said I would have thought that would have been a great thing.
Oh, okay. Even when you were an older child, you would have welcomed that.
My understanding that my Linda wanted to, Brenda told me this, that she wanted to take me, but my grandmother and me and my grandmother's bond was, we were too attached to each other, so it wouldn't have worked out.
Okay. But you wouldn't have mind living in a 4,500 square foot home on 2 acres in Parkland, right?
Right.
Okay. You mentioned on direct that you know a person named Richard Moore now, correct?
Yes.
And that's not someone you knew before, what'd you say, 2 or 3 months ago?
I've known about him, and I've spoken with him before.
Okay. But you didn't know him from your childhood, correct?
No.
And you're aware, I believe you said, Zachary Cruz, the defendant's brother, and you're also technically a birth brother as well, correct? Is living with him in Virginia?
Yes.
Okay. And Richard Moore's in the courtroom today, isn't he?
I don't see him.
Weren't you saying hello to him before?
Yeah, I did earlier, but right now I don't see him.
You see him now? Or you don't see him now, but you saw him before? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you didn't know this Richard Moore person before this shooting happened with the defendant, did you?
Right.
You know him through Nikolas Cruz, correct?
Right, yes.
Okay. And did you learn that him and his spouse, Michael Donovan, picked up Zach after he was bonding out from the jail without ever having met him before and took him up to Virginia?
I heard.
Okay. He didn't know Zach Cruz before then either, right?
Richard?
Yes.
I don't think so, no.
Or Michael Donovan, his spouse. Okay. And Richard Moore does send you money, correct?
He has.
Okay. And have you met, did you get a new attorney today?
I don't know yet.
You don't know if you got a new attorney?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Do you know who Mark Lowry is?
Yes,
Who is he?
he's an attorney.
Okay. Do you know he's your attorney now?
Yeah, you just told me.
I told you?
I think so. That's what you just said, right?
Okay. All right. And he's in the courtroom now too, correct?
Yes.
And your old attorney is also here, correct?
Yes, he is.
Okay, and so Mr. Lowry replaced Mr. Rosenberg today, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you know that Mr. Lowry represented Zach Cruz in the past?
Yes.
And Mr. Moore arranged for Mr. Lowry to represent you, correct?
No.
No?
No.
Who did?
Zach.
Zach did,
Yes.
who's living with Richard Moore, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that Richard Moore and Michael Donovan produce a reality television series?
Beyond the scope. Overruled.
Are you aware that Richard Moore and Michael Donovan produce a reality TV show?
What does that have to do with anything, sir?
Ma'am, I'll decide whether or not it's relevant. If I don't say the objection is sustained or tell you not to answer, then you need to answer the question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right.
Are you aware of that?
No.
Are you aware that one of the episodes of the show was called Being Zachary Cruz?
Overruled, you can answer.
Is that what?
Are you aware that Richard Moore and Michael Donovan have a show where they have an episode called Being Zachary Cruz as a part of a reality show? Are you aware of that?
No.
Do you think that it would be, well, let me strike that. Do you think it would be appropriate to capitalize on the murder of 14 children and 3 staff members of
Objection, Your
MS?
Honor.
I would like to finish the question first.
I'm waiting to rule until you finish.
Do you think it would be appropriate to capitalize on the murders of 14 children and 3 staff members at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School by filming or creating a reality show based on being the brother of a mass murder?
Okay, ma'am, don't answer the question. I'm sustaining the objection.
Judge, I'm moving to strike that.
Overruled.
Are you aware that Mr. Moore has sent thousands of dollars to Nikolas Cruz to his commissary this year alone?
Can I ask him a question?
If you don't understand the question, you can tell me you don't understand the question. That's fine.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Are you aware that Richard Moore has sent thousands of dollars this year alone to Nikolas Cruz commissary account?
I'm not aware, but how do you know it's only him? Zachary has his own money too.
That's his note.
Ma'am, just the attorney asked the question, you answer the question, okay? If you don't understand, you can say, I don't understand, or can you repeat it? But you can't just fire back your own questions, okay? Thank you.
Are you aware of that?
Yes, you just told me.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Ms. Woodard.
All right, sir.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Curtis? Is there anything
Yes.
else?
Yeah. Before Nicholas was born and you were living in that apartment, did Brenda have to go somewhere just before, for a few weeks before Nicholas was born?
Objection, outside the scope.
Overruled. That means you can answer.
Okay. She had to go to a drug treatment program.
Okay, and you and your grandmother, did you stay in that apartment?
We stayed at the apartment.
Okay, and how did you get to the hospital when Nicholas was born?
My grandma.
Okay. When did you first find out that Nikolas Cruz, who is your brother, was the one who committed the shooting in Parkland?
I found out that was him when Kate came to see me in 2018. I was in prison. That's when I found out that was my baby brother.
Okay, and at that time, did you tell Kate a lot of the things that you testified here to today?
Objection.
Sustained.
Hearsay is admissible on a penalty phase.
Sustained.
Did you agree to testify about your mother and about what you saw her doing while she was pregnant before you ever met Richard Moore?
Yes.
And you told Mr. Marcus you have charges pending against you, right?
Yes.
And you're here anyway testifying on behalf of your brother?
Yes.
Okay. You were never an ESE student, a special education student, right?
No.
Were you ever told that you had a language disorder?
Objection, outside the scope.
Overruled.
They had to cut my tongue when I was little, underneath.
Okay, that was for speech, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mr. Marcus asked you a bunch of questions about whether you would want to live in a 4,500 square foot home, right?
Yeah, he did.
And he asked you about whether you would want to have parents who took you to the doctor, right?
Yeah.
And he talked to you about whether you would want parents who went and got medication for you, right?
Yes.
Would you have wanted, while you were in your mother's womb, to have her drink Cisco wine every day?
No, ma'am.
Would you have wanted her to smoke crack every day?
No, ma'am.
Would you have wanted her to smoke cigarettes every day?
No.
Would you have wanted her to go to the doctor only 4 times?
No.
May I have a moment, Judge?
You may.
Thank you very much.
Okay.